Carrie. We are a family of 4 and we live in a tiny house. It's a mobile home and it's only 702 square feet. We have a really big garden and there's several things that we grow enough of that we no longer have to buy them from the store. And I'm share all that to tell you that you can do it even if you live in a tiny space. And I'm really excited today because I'm going to share how I do all of my pepper starts. It took me a really long time to figure this out and I've had all kinds of trials, and this is my favorite way to grow them and start them from seed. So I wanted to start out with a few things that I don't like to do or that haven't worked well for me. The first one is buying like the Jiffy seed starting mix and all of that. They do really good and they will germinate just fine. But after like 2 weeks or so, like after the seed uses whatever nutrients it has, they really start to deteriorate and they will die. So I had a few years back this happened and we did that, and we were scrambling because we use peppers a lot. We basically use them in place of onions, so they are a really big staple around here. So with that year we ended up going to the store and ended up buying starts and plants from the store and ended up with like 80 peppers because we were so worried about that because it's such a big staple crop. But after that I also learned that we also had issues with the seeds. That was my first year saving seeds, and I didn't realize that you needed to save seeds from the red peppers. So there's a tip for you: be sure and save seeds from red peppers. So we were really scrambling that year, but we still managed to make our goal and we were able to grow enough of peppers for the year. Okay, so another thing that I don't like to do is I don't like to grow the peppers in the little 6-cell planters that you can get. I usually just reuse all of my containers. I don't know what it is about them containers, but they do not work well for me at all. So that was another thing that I don't like to do. And it's taking me a long time to figure out how to do this. I've started out just trying to grow them just in the pot in my little greenhouse. I just have one of the cheap greenhouses, and I struggled, and I would hardly ever get anything to germinate, and they did not grow well. The plants weren't happy, they were really stunted, and I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong. So the next step after that, after I struggled for a few years doing that, I put them in a paper towel and wet them and put them in a Ziploc bag and put them on top of the refrigerator. And the warmth of the refrigerator helps them, and they do pretty good that way. Actually, I had really good germination, but you have to be really careful whenever you're moving the seed and you can damage them really easily. So that worked, but it still wasn't the method that I liked the best. So after that, I figured out it was the warmth that they liked. So I started putting them in 4-inch pots, and I would put them on a heat mat. And that has worked great. I have had so much better luck with germination, and the plants are really happy. They're not stunted or anything like that. I will say that with the germination rate with your seeds, I've done a lot of experimenting, and I found that your germination rate really goes down after about 2 years. Last year and the past few years, I've done a lot of experimenting with older seeds, and after 2 years, it goes down, I would say probably by 50%, and then every year after that, I would say like 10+%. So it really goes down an awful lot. Let's see, is there anything else? I think that's also all. Another thing I would say that I like to do is I don't water from the top. I do the bottom watering, and that helps an awful lot. Also, I just reuse heat mats, like older heat mats that I get at estate sales and things. I don't have the fancy heat mats that you get for plants. But also, whenever you do the bottom watering, if your pots or container doesn't go all the way over on the heat mat, the water helps distribute the heat and it kind of gets to all the plants. So that's another thing that works really good. I think we're going to move on, and I'm going to show how I store my seeds. So we'll come over here. I store all of my seeds in this container here. I don't freeze them or anything like that, and I separate them into little Ziploc bags, and that's how I store them. And then I figure out what I'm going to make, or what I'm going to grow for the year, and I put them in here, and I organize it by category like that. And so these are my tomatoes, and we'll move on to peppers. So you can see here that we have our varieties here. Now if I had one variety of pepper and only one that I could grow, it would be Gypsy Peppers. These are a little bit of an older seed, and as you can see, I said that it didn't have very good germination, so we went ahead and got a new package this year because this is our favorite. Now if I could grow 3 this one would be number 2, the King Arthur bell peppers. Those, again, like, this is an older package, so we didn't have the best germination, so we got another one. And what I'm gonna do this year is I'm just gonna plant these, and if they come up, great. If not, we will also plant the new ones too, just to make sure we have enough, because like I said, this is a staple crop for us. Another thing, I had a little oopsie this past year. I forgot to save seed from our favorite, which was a full dew jalapeno. That would be probably our, well, I take that back. The third favorite would be the Yum Yum, and I wasn't really happy with the seeds that I saved from that last year. So I hopefully am praying that we'll be able to find that at the stores this year, but I've messed up completely on the jalapenos. Maybe we'll be able to find it as well, but we're gonna try this one new here this year. And I have several other seeds. A lot of these are really old, like you can see, from 2019, so I am not very hopeful that they're going to do very good, but since they're getting really old, I'm just going to plant them anyways. And I guess that's all I will say. One other thing, whenever I plant them, I don't do just like one little pepper in the middle. I used to do that. What I like to do, I'll show you, I just do kind of like a mass planting, and I cover them about 1/4 of an inch or so with soil, and that is my favorite way. And then I will just take them and pot them up once they're, I don't know, probably about yay big or so, and they're starting to get a little too big. But yeah, and I also follow my garden planting calendar. That has also helped a lot with having really good and healthy plants. So I think we're going to switch, and I will start showing you how I do all the pepper seeds. Okay, a couple other things I forgot to mention is tags. I know a lot of people spend a lot of money on making tags. I have found the thing that works the best and will last for years outside is to use blinds, these little plastic blinds. If you just take it, and they're really easy to tear like that, you can use that, and I just mark, I'll just put my brand or whatever I'm doing here. I'm doing King Arthur, and I'm also gonna, I usually put the year on there too. So these are from 2020. So I'll just do it like that and then put it in there, and these literally will last years out in the garden. It's crazy. The pencil and the blind. Yeah, be sure and use a pencil. And another thing that is really, really important is, that, at least that I do, is I don't use just regular city water. I use either filtered water, but even better than that is rainwater. And we've been getting a lot of rain here. Even though we have our rain barrels drained, I've still got buckets out there. So I like to use rainwater. That works really good, and your plants are really happy. Okay, so how I do this here, since these are, last year I had not the best germination, I'm just going to go ahead and heavily plant them, but there's actually not very much in here. So I just kind of sprinkle them throughout. Hopefully you can see that. Just sprinkle them all like that, and then I'll take a little bit of soil and cover them. And if you want, like whenever I initially plant them, the soil I keep in the shed, so I saved in the shed, so it is not super wet soil. So about the only time I will ever do this is like right whenever I plant them, but it's really a lot better if you can just get it to uptake the soil from the bottom, or like pre-mix it or something like that. That works a lot better. So we're going to go ahead and plant several of these new King Arthurs for this year here. Let's see, I'm trying to think what we want to do. I think I'm going to just, I usually always plant a little bit extra too. That way, you know, if something does happen, and sometimes you don't know the seed packet. There are certain companies sometimes I've had issues with, and you never know. So I usually err on the side of caution, especially with it being something that we are really dependent on to be sure and plant enough of. So we're going to plant several of them like that. And I like to, like I said, try and write all the information that I can on it. So we'll get us a one here, and we'll write King Arthur. Sometimes I usually just abbreviate here, and I'm also going to write the year that the seeds are. I learned that in all of my trial experiments that that's really helpful. Okay, so next up we're gonna do our Gypsy Peppers. These are amazing, y'all. If y'all have never grown Gypsy Peppers, they are so good, not only in their production, but their flavor. Oh my goodness, they are amazing. And they're a really nice, thick-walled pepper, and they are just outstanding. Like, we love them so much. We even recently did a trial where we put them, using them like jalapeno poppers, and everybody, this was like number 1 or 2. It was kind of a debate, but everybody really loved them. They're that good. So these seeds are from 2022, and I'm just going to go ahead and plant quite a few of those. I don't know if I'm going to plant the new package or not. I'll probably just do a few because there are a bunch here, and they probably will still come up good. I'm a little concerned because these King Arthurs that I had got were from 2020, and I planted them last year, and they didn't have the best germination. So I think I'm gonna, even though I have this many, like, these are so important to us, I'm still gonna just put a few over here. And another thing is peppers are really slow growers. So last year I started these in March, around whenever I did my tomatoes, and they were kind of small, and I have issues with bunnies too. They like to eat the tops off of the peppers. So I want to make sure that what I'm putting out in the garden is a good size. So I am going to start mine in February. I've done that before, and I'm still trying to figure things out, but I think February is going to end up being a lot better. And also maybe the peppers will produce sooner is what I'm hoping, because we were pretty late whenever they started producing last year. So hopefully we will get an even bigger crop this year. So let me write my tags here. So we got the Gypsy Peppers. So these are the ones from 2020. But it's really easy to do, to just write that. And let's see. And then this one is from this year. So was it, I actually bought these last year, these other Gypsy Peppers, when they were on sale at the end of the year. Like, you can get them for like half price or something. That's whenever I got those. So they're actually 23, not 24. So we'll put our little markers in here, and I will, whenever I repot these up, I'll make a whole bunch more markers for them. Let's see, so what else? Is there anything else? I feel like there was something else I was going to say, and I don't remember what it was. Yeah, so we'll see. Hopefully we'll have lots of Gypsy Peppers. And I had a few areas I was thinking of trying to grow. Oh yes, that's what it was. I know I said we had crops and stuff, but it's not like we have this big garden. It's not like it's like crazy big. Like, I don't do market garden style gardening. What I do is raised beds. Where we live, we have a lot of flooding, and we also have really bad clay soil. So the best thing for us to do was to move up, and it was just the easiest solution, and it also helps a lot with the rain that we have. I had posted a video of some of the flooding that we had recently in our vlog, and I am so thankful for the raised beds. I actually forgot to put this clip in, but I have a clip of where the water is up really high on the raised bed. So we really enjoy that, and it works really good from where we're at. Another thing is, whenever you grow your plants like this, the food quality is so much better. Like, it's so much better than what you get at the store. You got to think that the stuff you get at the store has traveled and is not nearly as fresh as one might think. So it is really good and tastes so much better. So these are, I need to remember exactly what these were. The heatless habanero. I'll just write that down. But that is our favorite way to do it. And we also grow fruit and things like that. If we would not be able to eat it nearly as much if we didn't grow it. It is so expensive, and we do not buy it fresh. So if it wasn't for that, we would not have that. But you got to remember with your peppers to make sure they're covered. Okay, And also I've got these seeds. I think these were called Bonnie's Green Bells, the ones that I had saved. This was the year that we we needed to buy peppers, so I didn't do very good with starts that year. And these were really, really good. So if y'all find those are a really good variety. They're a lot like the King Arthur's. They produce really good. So we'll throw several of those seeds in here too. But gardening is really fun, and it's really awesome to get to start your own seeds and everything. They're just like little bundles of determination to grow, it seems like sometimes. They're really awesome, and it's really fun and exciting, and it's a challenge until you figure things out, and you're always finding different ways to do things and figuring new things out, but it is a lot of fun. So we'll write what this is, and I think that's everything that I remember. I'm gonna finish doing the rest of these peppers, and then I'll show you what our setup looks like with our little shelf and the heat mats and all of that whenever in the next video clip. We'll see you in just a bit. Okay, I got all the peppers started, and I thought I'd show you, this is what I use. Just a little greenhouse like this, and this is a south-facing window, and we are gonna have so many peppers in just this little space. I just start them off small like this. As you can see, it doesn't even take up the whole shelf. I also got these at the Dollar Tree. They hold up way better and last a lot longer than the trays that you get at the farm store for your plants. I like them a lot better, and I can fit 4 of them on each shelf. So that works really good, and I have the heat mat on, or yeah, that just like that, and I just leave it on all the time. And like I said, I don't use grow lights or anything. It's a south-facing window. I've done that before, and I was not the happiest with the results. I think they do really good like this. And once they start growing, if we have nice days, I will take them out and put them in the shade just to get them a little bit more sun. They'll have more sun out there than they do here. But that's what I do basically for the first part of the peppers until it's time to pot them up. That's how I take care of them. Of course, water them, bottom water them with the filtered water or the rainwater, and that's basically all you have to do. Just make sure they have plenty of water. I just make sure they're filled up. I don't know if you can see that. Just make sure they're filled up like that, and it works great, and we're able to grow enough of peppers for a year for our family. Alright, thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Y'all take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye!